Today, we've got the 43X out again, even though I've said we basically finished this guy and moving on. Well, something happened. I've talked about the plate, the NSA plate, and how it needed to have those recoil lugs, right? Or whatever the term is, I can't remember what they are. NSA doesn't make one. Suarez International, they have one. They have a 2.0 version of their NSA plate, and I finally got one. Finally got it put on, and now we're going to zero it, and we're going to see if it makes a big difference. Okay, so like I said before, the only downside with the way that I have this thing set up in my eyes for my personal use is that this Trijicon, after thousands of rounds and no issues, I finally did a malfunction clearance where I smashed the optic off of something. It was either off the table or the 2x4 out there where the big target is. I hit it hard enough that I was able to knock loose the zero, all right? It was just left and right. It wasn't the elevation. It was just left and right, right? And it made me realize that the NSA plate adapter that they have on here that Suarez first put out, it doesn't have any recoil lugs. I didn't think much about it at the time, but now that makes total sense. There's no recoil lugs. It's just relying on these two screws to hold the optic steady. Well, that's not going to work if you smash on it hard enough, okay? So I didn't get the 2.0 plate for free or anything. I contacted them a long time ago about that issue when it first happened. They never responded or anything. They're probably busy, whatever, it is what it is. So I bought one. It's like 30 bucks shipped. I think it's 24 or something like that. But 30 bucks shipped for the 2.0 version. Has 3 screws instead of 4 that hold the plate down. 3 is fine for me. The way that it locks onto there, it actually locks onto the rail or the slide. So it's a pretty tight fit anyway. And then you add the 3 screws and the Loctite and you should be fine. So, and it has 2 big, nice recoil lugs right up front, and then your 2 screws. And they send new screws and everything when you buy it. So I'm gonna get this guy zeroed off camera because it might take me a minute and that's really boring. But I also have these mag extensions from Tyrant. Actually, they sent me ones. This is not something I paid for, but these Tyrant mags, not mags, mag extensions. And it's a +4. I was able to hit 5 +5. I think it's just I've used this for a little bit and I might have wore it in a little bit. I'm just going to see if it works. If it works, then I'm just going to keep doing it. But we'll see. Go by manufacturer recommendations. Don't be like, I'm going to put 16 in it. Okay, well, they're probably not going to fit. And you'll probably break something. So don't do that. I'm going to zero this guy and then we're going to do a little testing with it and see if those recoil lugs really hold up. Decided in, but there we go. That's a 5-shot group of 7 yards. Maybe a smidge low, but I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. Okay, so what we're going to do is now we're going to load up. And I will say I wouldn't load up 15 rounds. You can jam up your spring if you do that. So that's not a knock against them. That's like using oil, right, in your diesel engine or something like that, like peanut oil or whatever it is that people were trying to use back in the day, and messing up your engine and getting mad at the company. Don't use stuff you're not supposed to use. Don't overload magazines, right? Don't use +P in a standard gun. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're going to take these rounds. We're gonna kind of test these lugs, okay? We're gonna test these lugs, and we're gonna see how well they really work, or do they really work? Do they really do anything? Okay, so this guy's loaded. We're just gonna have some fun, actually. Okay. All right, just a little bit more. I mean, that's smacking it, dude. Didn't hold open. All right, now let's put it back on paper and let's see if we busted it loose. Okay, so I'm trying not to shoot a whole lot, mainly just because I don't want to shoot all the ammo I have, as we all know, whatever. And so over time, I will continue to do this kind of thing. I'm just not going to do like 1,000 rounds today. You know, I'm going to break it up over somewhat of a period of time and see how it goes. So, put that down so I don't shoot myself. I'm going to position y'all this way, and yeah, I'm going to make you watch the video. You don't have to actually watch this part, but I might speed it up for you. But I'm going to put this on paper the best that I can. Top right. Top right. Should be 5 rounds. Granted, at 5 yards, this is what we were doing earlier. Very nice 5-round group, covered up with the thumb, slightly low. Here is what we did this time. You might be able to say that it broke it loose a little bit. I don't know. 3 of these are right here. 2 of these are high. Could be me, could be the optic. That's up to your interpretation. That's a really good group. At 7 yards, these should all be in the same hole. That's a little bit opened up. I'm gonna do the same thing right here. I'm gonna do another 5-shot group just to double check myself that it wasn't me getting my wrist all messed up, smashing it into the wood. That was me being stupid. There we go. That's what the gun does, yeah. That's a little bit better. Don't do just a 1 single shot group. I should have done a couple of these because that could arguably be the same 0 as that, which is arguably the same 0 as that. We are more, I totally pulled that. I knew I called that this first shot. These were much better, okay? You might say that my 0 shifted from being on the bottom of the 10 ring to the 0 being more of the center of the 10 ring. And at 7 yards, it's really hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. You really need to be out at like 25. You need to be able to see the difference, right? But hopefully you can see there. I was smashing that thing against the pole, and we're not breaking 0, okay? In my opinion, that's not breaking 0. That's still 0'd. Hitting in the 10 ring, hitting in the 10 ring. Still technically hitting in the 10 ring. I'm just sloppy on my shots there. Alrighty, guys, that's what we got for today as far as the 43X. The one other thing we did change with this system that we have right here is I swapped over the Hive Technologies, their magazine release. It's slightly more extended. Main reason I did that is because this is a silver button and this is a silver slide, whereas my I wasn't planning originally on getting this color of rail, but the black mag catch goes much better with this overall look than the silver one does, because the silver one doesn't really match it. Okay. But yeah, anyway, the NSA, the Suarez NSA 2.0 plate solved the problems, guys. Solved the problems. I will continue to run this thing a little bit. I still carry this guy, although we are getting close. We're closely, what's the word? We are fastly approaching the release date of the 507C. And there's another company that I really am interested in. We'll see. I don't know. Lord willing, they'll work with me. It'd be awesome. But they have an RMSC cut optic that would be really cool on here too. But the 507C or K, 507K, that's paid for. It's waiting. It just needs to be shipped someday over the rainbow. But anyway, guys, this guy right here is pretty good. And I have nothing bad to say about it now. Like, really, nothing bad to say about it. It worked great. As far as a comped gun goes, once you get that thing broken in, the comp, I've had people ask questions about that. The spring's the same. I didn't change anything like that. It doesn't work itself loose. It kind of locks in with that recoil with a guide rod. And it has the set screws, and they're fine. They work just fine. And it does help keep the gun down a little bit. It's not excessively long. Basically brings this gun to the size of a 48 or a 19. It's a great little guy. And with the 2.0 plate, with those recoil lugs, I can't say anything bad about it. This guy is awesome. Easily reaches out to 75-ish yards. I can actually tell you what that is. I've not been asked, but I wonder. Yeah, we're looking at 70 yards from here to those targets out there where I was shooting at. Somewhere's out over, I don't know where they are in here. Over there, those guys, over there, those guys. 70 yards, right over there. Easily hitting shots out at 70 yards, and then bringing it back in close and shooting a relatively good group. In my mind, relatively good group with the worst ammo the planet has ever seen. This Winchester stuff. Anyway, guys, and big shout out to Tyrant for these mag extensions. These things work so far. Have nothing bad to say about it. If you overfill it, if you put 15 rounds in here when you're not supposed to, you're supposed to put 14. Yeah, you might jam up your spring because you're over compressing the spring. You're doing something to it that is not meant or designed to do. It's not a 15 round magazine. It's a 14 round magazine. I believe it's 14. I get it mixed up. Anyway, big thanks to Tyrant for sending that out. We'll continue to test that. But it ran well today. That's the magazine we used in this guy, and it works. If y'all have any questions about any of this stuff, any of it, let me know. I will do my best to answer you. If you just want to gripe and complain about something, go ahead. That's fine with me too. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope you found it helpful, and all that kind of stuff. All right, y'all be good to be safe. I'm going to shut up. See you next video.